Hi everyone, my name is Suzanne and I'm a Chinese metaphysics master in Hong Kong. Today I would like to talk about a topic that I am frequently asked about, and that's the topic of how to choose a date for a cesarean birth. Yeah, this is a very common thing in Asia where many pregnant women will opt to choose a specific auspicious date for a cesarean delivery of their children. So there are usually three aspects we need to look into. The first one is obviously that we need to choose a date that is safe for the mother. So it's not so much about the child at that point. It is about having a positive date or a date that is safe and secure for the mother, that doesn't clash with the mother's birth chart, because you want to ensure that the surgery, that the cesarean birth is actually going smoothly without any complications. Now, for those who know a little bit about Bazi astrology or date selection, you will know that in order to choose a good date for a delivery, you have to ensure that you avoid dates that are considered the indirect resource element for the woman, because the indirect resource day counters the children of the woman. So whenever you do anything that has to do with pregnancy, even if it's just a screening or a scan, you do not want to do it on an indirect resource day. Yeah, so this is a day that you must avoid at all cost. If you are undergoing IVF treatments, then again, also don't do it on an indirect resource date for the mother. So the same goes for cesarean birth. So we look at the particular dates, how they correlate with the mother's birth chart, and it cannot be a date or a day that is considered an indirect resource day for the mother. That's the first thing we need to look at. The second thing when it comes to the selection of a cesarean birth date is to look or to ensure that the date that is chosen creates a very positive first luck pillar for the child itself. That means a luck pillar is basically the is a 10-year increment, yeah, on a lifelong scale. Yeah, when you look at a person's life in Chinese astrology, we always divide it into 10-year increments. And the 10-year increments, they are called luck pillars. So for a child, of course, the first 10 years are critical because those are the formative years. So you got to make sure that the date you choose creates a positive and healthy first luck pillar, first 10 years for the child, where you have very few clashes, very few harms, counterings, or just generally negative interactions for the child, so that we can guarantee or at least assist with a healthy upbringing and a healthy time frame for the first 10 years. And then the third component is that we also look at how the child's chart, once we have selected a date, how that child's chart interacts with the parent's chart. Very often, parents obviously want to choose a date that will make the child rich, wealthy, very successful in life. And while that is obviously a good thing, and we want to ensure that we do give the child a start that is as healthy and as prosperous as possible, we need to also check whether the parents, whether their destiny is actually in line with the child's destiny. If the parents' charts do not give them or provide them with super successful children, then creating a birth chart for a child that makes the child super successful can actually lead to disaster, because the parents themselves are not destined to have, I don't know, maybe a leader of a country as a child. And so if you give that chart to a child, it could result in self-sabotaging, in the sense that the child, even though he or she is very successful, they constantly create situations in their life that prevents them from being as successful as their own chart dictates, simply because the destiny of the parents doesn't allow for it. And that can create a lot of pain and hurt in a person's life. So we got to make sure that they are somewhat in alignment. That doesn't mean that a child cannot be successful, cannot be wealthy, not at all. But it has to be within the realm of what destiny provides. And within that, you can make a person, or you can help a person be as successful as possible. So these are the three things we usually look at when it comes to cesarean birth. Now, not every metaphysics master does do date selection for cesarean births. There are a lot of us out there who think that when it comes to death and birth, we just leave it to the universe. Once the person is born, we can then help and assist as much as possible based on the destiny chart and also based on date selection. However, making sure that the mother herself is safe during birth, that is definitely something that can always be checked. So this is a bit of an explanation how this works when it comes to date selection for cesarean birth. If you would like to know more, then please feel free to get in touch with me. All my contact details are in the notes below.